What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait, I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's where we build Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto.
What first got you excited about blockchains?
There we go. United States of America representing. Socialism, communism does not work.
Digital assets. Is it better to move money at the speed of light? Do everything?
People are greedy when they also try to acquire gold. I am here providing electricity and that energy that is necessary. I'm the modern day Tony Stark. Yeah, I'm gonna do that from now on. Welcome to the breakdown. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Why didn't nobody tell me that I look ugly as hell in... Why didn't nobody tell me I look... Yo, I would look white as hell. Bro, the lighting is so off. Yeah, I'm redoing that Cake Wallet commercial, bro. What are we doing out here? What are we doing, bro? Nobody wants to tell me though. No, like not a single person. See, this is why I can't rely on you guys. I can't rely on you guys, man. I really can't. You guys aren't friends, man. Friends tell friends when shit is not cool, bro. Right? Right? Friends tell friends. Anyway, welcome to the breakdown episode 764, sponsored by Midnight. Midnight is the title sponsor. We'll go into Midnight City today, as we always do. We'll see what the fuck is happening with my AI agent. What am I doing here? What am I doing? Also, shout out to Polymarket. Polymarket is the official prediction market sponsor of the breakdown. That's right. It is the official sponsor of the breakdown. Also, Cake Wallet, if you are worried right now after everything that happened with Cold Card and you're looking for something that is secure, get yourself Cake Wallet. Okay. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero. If you got those four and you want a secure product, get Cake Wallet. Oh my God, that rhymed. That rhymed. Oh my God. Trademark that. gmarkets.io for any information about the markets. You want information on the markets. You want the social sentiment out here in these streets. You go to gmarkets.io. Also, Gokshin.com is Gokshin.com is available. It is live. You can go ahead and get your crypto news. You can get your TriFi news. You can get your political news, sports, all types of news. You can go and get yourself the latest on Gokshin.com. I'm proud of that. Hold on, I want to see something. Let's see Gokshin.com on there. There you go. Love to see it. Hold on. Did we not fix this? Did we not fucking fix this shit? Hold on. Did we not fix? There we go. We did fix it. Good. All right, so check this out. Hold on. This is Gokshin.com now. And everybody who's talked about it, everybody who's seen it, they said, hey, man, what a fucking site. What a fucking site this is. And I was like, I know this is a great site. Look, and you know when we are live, by the way, we're cooking up something really special. You'll know when we're live. Because as you're scrolling, as you're going through the entire site, as soon as I go live or anybody on the network goes live, you'll see a pop-up as you're reading. What's the latest news here? We got Uniswap. Uniswap's meme coin launchpad on Robinhood chain puts retail in the game. There you go. Digital assets in the section of digital assets. And again, like I said, you can get all your information, whether it's politics, world news, markets, digital assets, technology, sports, other conversations available to you on Gokshin.com. This took months, ladies and gentlemen. And obviously every single, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing with me, man. It's the biggest thing. We've sat here, we've built out, and you want everything to be perfect. And this is what stopped me from releasing a lot of things, because I wanted things to be perfect, and then you can't have perfect. But this is as close to perfect as you can get. Gokshin.com. I'm proud of this, my baby. Uniswap's meme coin launchpad on Robinhood chain puts retail in the game. It is true though. Robinhood, like I was on Spaces yesterday. It was about 400 people that joined the space. Shout out to everybody who participated on Spaces. I was only going to hold it for 30 minutes, and 30 minutes always goes to 3 hours or 4 hours. But good conversations, good dialogue. At least I let it be known that we need to support the builders. We need to support the builders in this space. Before we get to that subject of supporting builders, I just want to acknowledge that Robinhood is a good thing. Because in that conversation that we were having yesterday, I want to see Robinhood win. I want to see Base win. I want to see Solana win. I want to see all the real chains win, because if they win, that means that we get liquidity that comes in here. We get normies that are participating. We will have our Wall Street Bets Part 2 movement come along. I really believe that. It's going to happen. I believe that. It will happen. It will absolutely happen. Again, Gokshin.com. You can go ahead and read that article right there. What else is happening here? Hold on. I haven't even looked at the news today. Trump blames Congress, not himself, as the GOP base simmers before midterms. Okay, we'll look at that later on today when we got the political conversations going on. But again, ladies and gentlemen, when we go live, you will see a pop-up. You will know that we have either myself, Rob, Landy, Taylor, Julie, and others that are going live on the network. Okay, again, Gokshin.com. I'm so proud of this that I should talk about this the entire time. For the next 2 hours, I'm just going to talk about the site. For the next 2 hours, that's all I'm talking about, is the site. No, for real, and I really appreciate this. The feedback that we have got for the website has been tremendous. People have said it is well built, it's dope. Congratulations. I really didn't have any negative feedback. Here and there, people have been helping with any bugs that they've seen on the website. But other than that, they're like, you're here to dominate. And I said, absolutely. I'm here to dominate. Speaking of dominating, Landy's here with us. Landy, what's going on, man?
Hey, I'm excited about the website. Like I said
It's getting
yesterday,
better, right?
yeah, it's getting better. And it was already good to begin with. I mean, you've been spending a lot of time hard at work polishing all of the different details that go into it. Obviously, after things launch, you got to clean up things here and there, and things evolve over time. But I was being serious when I said that I actually have it bookmarked and have now put it in the number one spot. And for reference, for anybody that has heard me talk about this when it comes to like news and politics and stuff like that, for what I have pinned, it used to be up until just recently my own aggregated stuff that I built locally that would reach out and grab stuff for me. And I haven't I what I found is that after the other day when we were kind of talking about it in the background, I was like, you know what? It's kind of redundant because you put most of the things that I would be looking at right there. So, and I
I'm
was
working
being
hard.
serious about that, by the way.
Uh, and I appreciate that, obviously, Landy. And it's just like, you know what it is? You know how, like, I really, this has been in the works for months, man. And it's just like, you want it to be
Brother, I
perfect.
know.
You should have seen how many versions of the site there were, bro. It's
Yeah.
like fucking crazy. But I'm happy. I'm not happy about you keeping me up.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not happy about that.
yeah,
Tell you right now,
sorry.
I am so fucking tired.
Hey, it's not my fault that somebody was on a space for 5.5 hours. Okay.
Yo, how fucked up this is. I was on a space for 5 hours and then I
Yep.
was on a call with you for 3.
Yep.
What a
You're
fucked up
welcome.
situation.
Love
And
it.
you know what's even more fucked up? Your own friends are your friends are diabolical, okay?
They are.
In the comments section, and you probably replied to this too. They were like, Dave, let Landy up.
Uh-huh.
It'll only be a few minutes that'll talk and touch on something. Are you fucking crazy? You understand if I Landy? First of all, I didn't even see you. I saw you
Yeah.
when I was about to close out the space. I was
Yeah.
like, oh fuck no! Like this is going 9 hours. There's no way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm proud of this. I obviously, of course, I'm fucking proud of this. It's the website's here. We got Gokhshtein PR, which we're upgrading that as well. And then we have another product that's coming out, which it'll be really cool. It'll be a really cool experience for anybody who tunes in and wants to watch a good show where we break a lot down, break things down here. I hate you, Landy. Honestly, you know what? My bedtime is usually and now I'm just like fuck. I'm trying, man. I'm just fucking trying out here in these streets. But I was mentioning one of the articles here that popped up: Uniswap's meme coin launchpad on Robinhood chain.
Yeah.
It's retail in the game. Which I mean, we've talked about this. You've talked about this. You've also talked about tokenized stocks coming into the game. That's going to be that's going to be game changer, I think. And that obviously, I think Robinhood has. If anybody has like a grip on that, I think it's Robinhood. I might be
Yes.
wrong, but to me, I think it is Robinhood that controls that game, just because of the amount of people that they have on their platform. So, yeah, this is really cool to see. I mean, it means that our industry is growing.
Yes. And one of the beautiful things that we've talked about pretty extensively is that, Robinhood knew where they needed to go to prove out their chain and to stress test it. And they went right to the stalwarts of all of the chains, and that is the trenches. They went right for the memes, right for the trench warriors. They went right for the NFTs because they knew that people are we're hardcore. We in this space, and I mess around with memes. I might be a Bitcoin puppet. I mess around with memes, NFTs, ordinals, all of that stuff. They knew that they would attract a bunch of volume and excitement around it because one, like 99% of us that are still here during the bear market, we're all nerds, right? So at the end of the day, we're geeks and nerds, and we're hunting for wherever liquidity and flow is going. And it headed over there, and they proved out, like I said to you, they proved out something that you have been talking to me about for quite some time that I was very skeptical of. I figured that a lot of them would come in and eat our lunch, um, that take our lunch and eat it right in front of us with the stock tokens and RWAs right away. But what I failed to um, think about was how are they going to, they're not going to stress test this with the entirety of their stock portfolio investors, right? They're gonna let us go and try to break everything, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that's going to be through, memes, NFTs, and now you've got memes paired with stock tokens and RWAs and stuff. So there's all kinds of interesting things happening over there. Um, and David, you were 100% right that the memes were going to be the vector to onboard the regular folks. Because yet again, I've had people that have said no to everything crypto and ignored what I've talked about for years about a lot of this stuff, have now said like, "Hey, what is this thing with the wallet and the crypto on my Robinhood app?"
Exactly. Yo, you heard him. Clip that up, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? No, I'm not gonna do that. Let me. And by the way,
Flip
the
the
two
puppet.
behemoths, Uniswap, Robinhood,
Yeah.
talking about memes. Like, bro, what? Where am I living right now? Where am I? Yo, I used to talk about this and get ripped apart. Where am
Yep.
I living now, man? It's crazy. Um, I wanted to, yo, did you see this though? Like, I was like reading this. FBI agent pleads guilty to
Yeah.
stealing $1 million in crypto during investigation. I mean, like, what are we doing here, bro?
Well, this is funny because this is not the same as the guy whose son was taking and stealing keys and then flaunting it online. This is a completely separate guy who was going and made, I think, 12 moves on chain after obtaining evidence that had, private key information. And I
But
think,
you know how crazy this was though, because I read the story,
yeah,
and so he used ChatGPT,
jeez,
and he
yeah,
asked ChatGPT essentially he framed it as, what would a 37-year-old man do with a family if they had so and so money, and where would they go type.
yeah. Hmm.
Bro, like, what? And I think he did. I'm not sure about this, but I think he did it on. I think he used I think he used the government's ChatGPT. I'm not sure. I gotta clarify that. But I do know he used ChatGPT to go ahead
Yeah.
and figure out scenarios of leaving and what countries would be good to go to.
Yep.
What? What? Like, how are you okay, we say this all the time with crypto. If you tried this with cash, because there's an argument that crypto's bad. If you're you can't trace cash. Like, come on, let's be serious. I get their serial numbers, but you ain't tracing the shit. Okay? Like, it's really hard.
It is very difficult. Yeah.
But you're talking about you're doing this with crypto and you work for the FBI? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just blown away, man. Like, I'm just blown away, bro. Like, I'm just
Look, when you
that's
get
wild.
when you get certain people, and he for a long time it sounds like he was with the FBI, top secret clearances, and had access to some of these investigations directly linked under him. So it sounded like, you know, there is always bad actors in every single apparatus, whether it be corporate sector or public sector, law enforcement, military. That's why there's military police, by the way. Because there is just also there's a totally different set of rules for those in the military.
Yeah.
But you know, this is kind of I bet you that there has been way more of this that has happened over the years. But he was like, I'm gonna get this bag, and apparently he came clean because it was eating him up
I mean, he had no other
inside.
choice, Landy.
Guarantee he got word that he was also under investigation, right? That somebody got wind of it. Something worked its way through the grapevine. Somebody tipped him off, and he probably was like, I got to come clean. Maybe there'll be a little bit of grace if I fess up to it first. Now, what I didn't figure out, did he manage to spend all of that money or not?
I
That's
I
the
don't
part
know. I know he because I read this.
He's ready to
1
make a
million in
getaway.
crypto from a Russian target to personal, and I'm like, yo, hold on.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna start a war with Russia. I'm kidding, but no, I have no clue. They haven't come out with anything. I haven't read anything, so
It's kind of
um,
it's kind of wild. Yeah, because that broke was it yesterday, and then a little bit more detail came out today. So I wasn't sure because I haven't read it on the site yet. Been a little busy this morning. But there's way more, right? Like it's funny, like
it's
obviously
crazy.
he shouldn't have done it, but think about all of the NGO companies that these, folks in positions of authority, whether it be political or governmental authority, that just are laundering cash to themselves in various vectors, right? I wonder if this is going to become a bit of a trend, and we're going to see more of these types of things surrounding the clarity conversation as well.
We have more news here. We got Wintermute wins SEC broker dealer status, opening direct ETF access.
Yep. This is going to upset some people in the crypto space, especially one. I know at least one guy is going to be. He's not going to be partying over this one. He's not a fan, but I am. I think this is fine. I think that they actually do pretty good work, and I don't disagree. They're here to make money, so they're going to probably be expanding their what it is that they help provide liquidity to and make the market for. So,
Yeah.
well, I mean, they already were a stalwart in this particular industry. So, I actually think that that's okay. I know there's people that absolutely do not like Wintermute, but I think
Well,
that
they're
they've
not going
also,
anywhere.
yeah, they're not going anywhere. And I think that they've also kind of twisted the narrative on that. It's kind of like one of those situations of like, Binance is doing this, and it's all everything that I've ever seen in the market is market manipulation. Not saying that it doesn't exist, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's pretty complex, and there's a lot of things, a lot of dynamics that come into what's going on in the markets and for price action.
Something
But
that you get horny about.
price
Bitcoin
action,
clears 65.2 as spot ETF inflows hit fifth straight. Inflows hit fifth straight day. I know you're probably tickling
well,
yourself.
well, it actually hit a very key area and then pulled back at for ended up going above 65.2 to 60. It continued up to 65 360 65.4 area depending on the chart. But realistically, what you need to see is daily closing price action above there. And I get this question all the time, David, even from people I know that have been in this market for quite some time. The closes is zero. 24-hour assets do have closes. They close at 0 UTC. So that is 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for folks in the chat. I get that question a lot. Is like, what time is the close? And especially because we we're having time changes and stuff, so it would, you know, shift. Sometimes it would be 7 Eastern, of course, and then 4 Pacific Standard Time. But now I believe going forward, we are not going to have any time changes. I believe we're sticking to this particular time zone, and or are we getting one more change? That happened earlier or earlier last month, right? With the
Yeah.
getting rid of the time changes or daylight savings. Or
Which I don't know if it's gonna work, but it is what it is. I hate daylight savings time. I mean, it's
I know it's
just
annoying.
it
Yeah,
is
just
annoying.
lose an hour of sleep, gain an hour of sleep game. I already don't sleep, so I mean, I just it becomes a scheduling nightmare. So, but what you want to see for, you know, a bit more opportunity for further upside price action is actually closes above that exact area for Bitcoin, that 65, um, you know, 4 to 6 area, to actually start seeing Bitcoin head back up 67, 68 with the potential into the, you know, 70K to low 70 area. I
Yeah.
mean, because it's just been stuck. It's been stuck at 65 to 62 and a half for quite some time. People are
Annoying, bro.
getting bored.
It is boring. I ain't gonna front. It is but boring means that you can make money.
Yep.
So cold card firm or exploit drains 130 million in Bitcoin.
Yep. That number continues up.
It fucking grows, bro.
Yeah, it's not cool. There's so many people that you know, because for, you know, about 7 years, right? 7 years since the Mark 1 came out. Was it 2019, I believe? 2019, 2020. And, you know, it got very popular during during lockdown, right? When a lot of folks were introducing new people to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And I had a lot of folks that were getting people into self custody and specifically into cold card. And a lot of those people, they got their Bitcoin, they put it on there, they throw it in the safe, they walk away. They're not regularly on social media anymore because that lockdown period and remote work period kind of went away. And unfortunately, they might not even know. You know, maybe they, you know, I don't even know. They send an email out finally, I believe, right? But you know, there's a lot of folks that, you know, are just going about their regular everyday life and maybe don't even realize that they have been swept up in this and
Yeah,
unfortunately had their. Now there is, and we do know that there are white hat hackers that are sweeping funds and creating some systematic ways in which people can prove and then recover some funds. I don't know how widespread that is, but I do know that there is some of that at the very minimum going on. But also, there's a whole lot of people who, once the initial vulnerability was exposed and funds were moving, also jumped in to be black hats and bad actors.
yeah.
And it's kind of become a first come first serve, which is one of the reasons why white hat hackers have been around trying to sweep as much as they possibly can to save some funds for folks and set up a way in which they can come and claim them. Um, what a wild situation, man. And I don't think it's going to end there. We could see that number, you know, go higher. And when you aggregate the total losses, we're in a bear market, right? So 130 million at this point, you know, when we do start turning back into a bull market is, you know, a lot more, especially for those folks that walked away and aren't paying attention because it's a bear market. So it's very, very unfortunate. And I do feel for people that are in the position where they've lost funds. Hopefully there is some sort of a silver lining, whether it's, you know, some sort of negotiation with, you know, bounties and white hats that can hopefully get some of this,
For sure.
you know, and then we're probably going to find out more about at some point. We're likely going to find out some more information about who or what initiated this,
Well,
right?
they've already
Outside
moved
of just some
funds
random.
through Tornado Cash and stuff. I believe they
Yep.
already moved some Bitcoin and Ethereum
Yes,
I was reading that yesterday on the site. So yeah,
because some people use those keys to recover to hot
yeah,
wallets that also created Ethereum wallets and other wallets on other
it's
networks.
crazy, man. Crazy exploit that
It's
obviously
outstanding.
continues to grow. The
Mhm.
company says that they don't believe that the number is accurate, but on-chain analysis says that the number is accurate, might be even more than what's being stated. So we will know more as this continues. I hope it stops, but hopefully
Yep.
hopefully people are removing their fucking assets from Cold Card. That's bottom line. Hopefully people are taking action. How many people are just not even reading the news, and the shit's happening. So the Clarity Act
Yeah.
vote delayed, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So anybody who was fucking
Mm.
excited or thinking there was a possibility, like myself, that they would put this to the floor, they delayed that. Sparks debate on regulatory necessity. So, um, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I expected this to happen. I expected them to not do anything, stall it. Um, Look, this House and Senate has been particularly terrible. Um, for a few different reasons, right? One of the main reasons that they've been particularly terrible is because Republicans are in control of the House and the Senate, and they're not doing anything um, to actually codify. Um, they're not doing anything to codify any of the agenda that the administration came in with a mandate, right? The administration came in, w- Republicans swept the House, Senate, and the White House, right? You got a mandate. Trump came in on a mandate. You might not like him. You might be a Democrat, whatever the case might be. You might be happy about this situation, in which case you would maybe celebrate that they are not codifying anything. But the fact remains that they've done a piss poor job and they've not codified um, really large portions of the Trump administration's agenda surrounding whether it be crypto or other things, right? Like the Save America Act or the things that are 80-20 issues with the American people, which should be easy things for them to do. I saw you have John Deaton coming on here in a little
Which I'm
bit.
gonna ask him these questions. I want to get his thoughts
Yeah,
on this.
he's definitely on this. I'm going to be sitting in the back here listening while waiting to talk to you and Rob again later, but um this is really awful, awful work by them. And also this version of clarity that they are even ready to or indicating that they wanted to get to the floor and vote on is such a watered down banker bill that it's kind of eh, like, okay, great. Like it'll allow for some players in the game to actually get into cryptocurrencies over time. But a lot of those folks that would have had some excitement and fervor coming into it, in 2025, they've moved on to other things at this point and would have to go back and build those teams back up on the crypto side to actually get things rolling there
Yeah,
anyway. So it's really, I think for now we're just looking at what's going on with post Genius Act moves by larger institutions, and now this is more about what are the banks going to do whenever this does pass, or if it does not pass now. I do not see this actually getting through at all. I mean, that's one of those, and maybe that's a really bearish take. At least in any resemblance of what we see
yeah.
now, I don't think it's going to get through. It, in fact, would probably be a much different looking and much more bank favorable bill um, if we have a Democrat House and a Republican Senate, or if there is a sweep between the House and Senate by the Democrats. I don't even think this gets through. They don't want to give Trump a win. And it seems like neither do the Republicans at this point.
Don't get me started. We can
Yep.
talk policy here all day long. I want, and this was, this was mind-boggling, and I want to say this because I want to get back to crypto real quick. But when I saw this, bro, this dude, bro, talk about a guy who made a good net worth when he went into office, saying this kind of shit is wild. Y'all can read all this though. You can go to Gottstein.com and you can read all these articles. See, I'm able to go ahead and report on the news by using the news that we report. How fun is that? Anyway, that's fun. That's fun. I can skip through or roll through everything. But there's been exploits, by the way. Our company's been reporting on it. There are fake apps on Google's Play Store that have drained people's wallets. Guys, I'm telling you right now, you gotta make sure that your shit's secure, man. Stop clicking links. Okay? Verify this shit before you start downloading things. Like, people are really losing money right now, man. And we had Michael on from Consensus, MetaMask. He's saying like, the amount of fake sites are up. Like it used to be 500 a day. Now it's 10,000 sites per day that they're blocking off. Like, make sure you know what the fuck you're doing, man. Like, you work so hard for crypto. You know what it is? Like, treat it as if it's, I can't believe I'm saying this. Treat it as if it's real money.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get that right now? Like, because somebody's going to take this out of context, but
yes, I know.
Treat it as if you don't want people to have access to your bank account. Because a lot of you guys treat it as, oh, whatever, I'm safe, I'm good. I see the cavalier attitudes that people have. Like, I hear it. It's like, yo, man, like, take this fucking shit seriously, man. People are getting drained millions of dollars. Millions of dollars are being drained every single day, man. Anyway, Landy, you'll be back on here with your favorite person, Rob Nelson, where we will go ahead and touch on political topics.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we'll touch on crypto. I don't know. With him, I don't know if we're touching on crypto. I don't know.
Maybe.
Force him.
We'll have to force him into a few new topics.
Let me guess what he's going to talk about. I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna write it down on this, and I'm gonna guess what he's going to talk about. It might have something that starts with an I and ends with an N.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to be out of breath talking about it, like he just went for a
Guys, run. I gotta tell you. If we don't, too early. Yo, Landy, you're a motherfucker, bro. I swear to God, if you have an event to go to, Landy, I am going to purposely keep you up into the early morning. Okay, you were just so lucky that I had work also at the same time, and I was getting things done. But you are lucky. Anyway, Landy will be here at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be bringing on Rob Nelson. Rob Nelson, a veteran of Fox. Okay, he had a show on Fox, political takes. We'll get into the conversation. Okay, I know he's coming on here to talk about Iran. He's going to talk about Iran. But I'll see you later, Landy.
Yes, sir.
By the way, family members are starting to think that I am absolutely insane, that I talked to a puppet.
Yep.
Me and the puppet had a conversation. But puppet, I'll see you later. I got John coming on. Okay, we got John coming on. John Deedon is coming on, and we're going to talk.
I've talked to John too. I mean, you could always keep me on here, and I'll
no. Goodbye, puppet. Have a nice day. We'll be right back after this commercial break, sponsored by. Why aren't you leaving? Get out of here.
Take it over.
Bye.
Take it over.
Goodbye, puppet. We'll be right back after this commercial break, sponsored by Midnight.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was a promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. There we go. United States of America representing. Socialism, communism does not work.
Digital assets. Is it better to move money at the speed of light? Do everything.
People are greedy when they also try to acquire gold. I am here providing electricity and that energy that is necessary. I'm the modern day Tony Stark. Welcome back to the breakdown. What episode is this? 764, sponsored by Midnight, Polymarket, Cake Wallet. We have he's one of my favorites. He's in the green room. Absolutely no water, no Skittles, nothing was given to this man. It's absolutely disrespectful. I should fire everybody. Well, let's bring him right in so we can go and chop up some politics here. John, it is always good to see you, man.
Hey, it's always good to see you. I love being on with the best looking man in crypto. Are you kidding?
Oh my God. I should clip it up. How many times?
Humbling.
Thank you.
You're starting to blush, brother. You're starting to blush.
It's very humbling. You are definitely one of my look, I'd like to see you come out with a huge win here in Massachusetts. You've done so much for the crypto space. For those of you, you guys are new, and I'm sure a lot of people who are watching, they know who you are, but this man has done a lot to go ahead and fight for our space. How's everything going?
It's going well. You know, things, it's an uphill battle in Massachusetts, but there's some promising things. You know, this time around, I don't have a primary opponent like I did last time against Elizabeth Warren. In the meantime, Seth Moulton and Ed Markey are fighting it out in the Democratic primary, embarrassing themselves, quite honestly. Two career politicians arguing over which one's more corrupt. And there's a lot of people looking for an alternative. And so I think we're going to surprise a lot of people how competitive this race is going to be. No one's talking about it yet, but we got polling that shows we got a real shot in Massachusetts this time.
And that's September 1st, correct?
September 1st is the primary. I'm already the nominee. I think it'll be Ed Markey. He's 80 years old. He began office before you were born, my friend. I'm not joking, David. He's been in office 53 years, so longer than 1/5 of our entire country's existence. This man has been in elected office, and but it's his failed policies on top of that. So we got a shot after September 1st. It'll officially most likely be him versus me. He is part of Warren's anti-crypto army. He hates Bitcoin and crypto. You know, I'll be real. I'm already pissed off about the Clarity Act, just like you and these senators and how they're dragging their feet. But they better take a vote. Even if it doesn't make it, we got to get these people on record. Do they support American innovation, or are they puppets of the banking industry and the incumbent system? And we got to force that vote.
You know, I was kind of pissed off because I was thinking, okay, put it to the floor, like you just said, put it to the floor, and let's see who votes for it, right? Because then we'll have a better indication and perception of who's about crypto and who isn't. Like
Right.
that Republicans and Democrats, like both.
Right.
Put it onto the floor. I want to see who votes for it. Because a lot of people say, we're pro crypto, pro crypto. Well, show me. Show
right.
me that you're pro crypto. We already know who's anti crypto. Show me who's pro. And then when the midterms come around, at least a one issue voter who's
Right.
particularly in crypto will know where to go. So
And let me prove how on point you are, David. Like here in Massachusetts, we know that there's 7 million people, and we know that there's between 1 and 1.2 million people that own crypto, right? They're Democrats, they're independents, they're Republicans. And so force Ed Markey to vote no. And let's get that on record while I micro target those 1.1 million crypto holders and veterans and all of those things. And so that's the point. By not putting it on the Senate floor, it allows people to play both sides. Oh, you know, I was for it because I didn't have to vote for it. They can say that. But if they
Yeah.
follow your advice, get them on the record. Fairshake has $200 million in money. Let them fear that they're going to feel the voter turnout when it comes to one issue voters on this issue. And so we want change. We got to at least get the vote on the floor.
you said there's did I hear that correctly? You said there's about 1.1 million people en masse that are crypto holders. Is that?
Yes. In March of 2024, I was told that Coinbase had 800,000 customers in Massachusetts. You know, that's 2 years ago. And if you look at the data from the different PACs, whether it's Stand with Crypto or other crypto PACs, I've been told that it's somewhere between 1 and 1.2, which is consistent. You know, we have 7 million. If you take out the children and the minors, you're looking at 1 out of 4 adults in Massachusetts has exposure to crypto. I think if you include IBIT and Bitcoin spot ETFs, it's going to be much more than that. And I think you're probably at the 2 million mark if you're counting spot ETFs.
Are you getting any support from some of these crypto packs?
I mean, right now, I think they're sitting it out. And I think one of the reasons is that Seth Moulton, who's challenging Markey, he's 40 some years old. He's younger. He's not part of the anti-crypto army. If he's able to beat Markey, then they, you know, I'm just being honest, that they could live with him versus Markey. So I think when Markey beats them, and then it's a clear anti-crypto person versus me, and then we show polling that shows that it's achievable, I think they'll participate.
Clarity Act, I feel like it's a handbook for how banks can operate. Where's retail in this? That's who I'm concerned about. Main Street. Where are we in this?
You and me too, brother. Listen, I actually was pissed off that Clarity didn't allow yield for passive crypto holdings, right? Whether it's your Bitcoin, your ETH, your XRP, Solana, whatever the crypto of choice. Why wouldn't you allow people to get yield from that? It's better than holding cash, and the banks were able to prevent that. But here's the thing, David, you and I are real capitalists in the sense that your job as a senator or congressman isn't to protect the incumbent system or industry. You either innovate or you die. And the banks have the ability to adopt this technology and grow with the technology. They shouldn't be like, you know, trying to prevent it. But real capitalism is let the best tech win, let financial innovation take its course, and you adapt or you die. I mean, to me, that's what real capitalism and American freedom is all about. But we're seeing how much control the bank lobby has on some of these senators.
When you become senator, I'm not going to use hope. When you become senator, en masse, what would you introduce for retail? Clarity aside, I get the yield part, but
Right.
retail is kind of confused too because like I've spoken to a lot of people that have come onto the show. There's really nothing for like I feel like the rules are so there's no clarity to the rules, and the SEC is like, well, we'll come up with our own rules, right? Not in a bad way. They're like, we'll come up with rules, but it shouldn't be up to the SEC or these government agencies to do it. It should be up to Congress to come out with rules that for innovators, developers, retail, for us to understand what's happening, what we can do. We got four branches of government. I mean, one calls it property. IRS says it's property. We have another one that says it's a commodity. We have another one that says it's virtual currency. It's very confusing. Like other, nation states, like they've clearly identified what it is, and they've given clarity to everybody. So where's clarity for us? I know there's a few things in the Clarity Act, but like, where's the real clarity for us, especially when it comes to taxes? That also in itself, with the 1099 DAs and all that stuff, where is it for us?
No, I agree. And as you know, I'm always for the small guy and the retail investor, the retail crypto holder. And that's why I said I was actually disappointed in Clarity. But what I've learned in Washington is you've got to, this is the first step, is getting this bill in. And then as you educate some of these senators, I mean, I got to tell you, one of the first things we've got to do is educate people in Congress. You're still getting, David, you're still getting the narrative, the Elizabeth Warren narrative. Oh, wait a minute. Isn't that used by terrorists? And isn't Bitcoin only used by drug cartels? Things that were like 2013 type questions or 2015 at the latest. They're still asking it because of the narrative. So we've got to educate them. Like they get surprised when I tell them, hey, actually Hamas instructed people not to use crypto because it was so traceable. It's a distributed open ledger, right? Just because it doesn't say John Deaton doesn't mean you can't track it and whatnot. And so education, main point. But yes, we need to have aggressive. First of all, we're still applying 1933 statutes to modern day blockchain technology, quantum computing, automation, robotics, artificial intelligence. We're taking a 1946 case law on orange groves, the Howey case, and trying to finagle it into artificial intelligence. Are you insane, right, is the question. So we got to get members of Congress to do their job. Let's upgrade what is a definition of a security. The other thing I want to do is abolish or seriously reform the accredited investor rule, which excludes 88% of the American population by saying you can't have exposure to private equity unless you have $1 million in net worth, and you can't count your house, which is most people's net worth.
Yeah.
Or you make 300 grand a year for several years in a row. So you can serve in the Marine Corps or the military, die for your country, but you can't own SpaceX, right, before it goes public. And you can't own Anthropic before it goes public. And so we've got to abolish that, open up real abilities. David, you and I know this, man. You want to know who the people who have done well in this country since the 2008 financial crisis, when they started pumping trillions of liquidity out of thin air into the markets? People who've owned things. If you owned real estate, if you own stocks, bonds, Bitcoin, crypto, you've done gold, then you've done well. Well, half of America doesn't own any of that. So we've got to get appreciable assets into the hands of regular people. I come from poverty. The reason I escaped poverty was because I bought assets that appreciated: real estate, rental properties, Apple stock, things of that nature. And so the way we can do that is tokenization of real world assets is a way to do that. In Massachusetts, David, the average starter home is over $500,000, about $600,000. Starter home, dude. Starter home.
Crazy. That's
so
crazy.
So let's say you have an apartment building and you tokenize it, and maybe one token represents 1% ownership, so fractional ownership of real estate and other types of assets. But we have to change these rules from the 30s, dude, and the 40s. And so I've got lots of ideas to try to improve it for the regular guy, the auto mechanic, the electrician, the roofer, the sheet rocker, right? The shipyard worker. Like they have that we need to make sure that we put assets in their hands, because the wealth gap, we have to do something about it, because young people are turning to charismatic socialists as the answer, and it's not going to work, but we got to combat that, man, with real policy.
It's funny. That was like my next question, but I was going to crack a joke here. You bring up the Howie Act and stuff, 1933. I mean, some of these people have been in office since 1933. So it's kind of like it's when you say I have to come in here and educate these people on tech. I think there's a problem here that if you're going into the Senate and you're gonna have to educate these people on tech, I don't know if they should be there. Like I'm just putting it out there, you know, like you had enough time to kind of educate yourself on it. Speaking of the Democrat socialists, this is like, I don't know if it's mind-boggling, because I could see a case where people say that capitalism hasn't worked for me. I understand that there are a lot of universities that have really strong liberal professors, you know, saying, you know what, socialism is the way, communism is good, stuff like that. And then you have these you got the younger generation saying, you know what, capitalism hasn't worked for me, so maybe I'll give this a try, which brings in the Mandani type of politician that, you know, smiles all the time, says everything's free, and wins over the crowd. But when he gets in, nothing's free. What are your thoughts here? Are the Democrats going to implode? Because I feel like they embraced this to go after Trump kind of thing.
Right.
And now it's like backfiring because they're fighting within their own party. Like, what's your take here?
No, I agree. Listen, when I announced I was running for Senate, I brought out Mandami and I said, listen, we can't just call him names like communist, right? Now, he may very well be, but we got to understand, why is he resonating? And it's because we've allowed, put it this way, why are young people turning to the Mandamis? If you have cancer, David, and a charismatic surgeon says, I can cure you of your cancer, you're gonna say, okay, you got my attention. So when he says, I can make life more affordable for you, I can give you free public transportation, and you're like, okay, well, that's $250 back in my pocket, and I can give you groceries at 30-40% below what you're paying now, and you're looking at that, you're like, that's why it's attractive. You and I know it's not going to work. Like grocery managed stores by government have been tried in Kansas, been tried in Florida. They always fail. And so we've got to understand that the truth is capitalism isn't working for young people. And I'll give you an example. One of the biggest areas, and I say we already have socialism, David. Yeah. We have corporate socialism. If you look at America's healthcare, the reason the Affordable Care Act was never going to be affordable is because it allowed 3 vertically integrated insurance companies that control all the way from manufacturing to retail at the pharmacy, 90% of America's healthcare. And when you allow those 3 vertically integrated insurance companies to control over 90%, they've monopolized it, and they're putting small independent pharmacies out of business. And we need to break that up. There was a famous Republican, one of my favorite, Teddy Roosevelt. He came in, he took on the oil barons, the railroad tycoons. He broke up some monopolies, and small businesses were able to thrive. Competition increased, prices came down. That's real capitalism, in my opinion. And right now we get all these subsidies to all these governments. Here, I have an idea, David. It's called the innovation dividend. And it basically is an act The taxpayers are the greatest venture capitalists in the world. You and I as taxpayers, but we never see the upside. So, for example, I give you an example. Harvard, which is here in Massachusetts, has a $60 billion endowment for themselves. They still get $500 to $600 million in tax subsidies, grants. Then guess what they do? They have a breakthrough. Then they license that breakthrough to private companies and collect $150, $200 million in royalties. So my position is, if taxpayer money helped fund that breakthrough, then we should get a dividend. We should get like whatever profit comes from the taxpayer funded. I'm not, if it's private, it's private, but if it's taxpayer funded, then we get a dividend every year for our taxpayers causing innovation. Taxpayer money has helped GPS, the internet, artificial intelligence. And so that's real capitalism, getting people to be vested in breaking up some of these companies. And we can do it. You just got to get these corrupt politicians out of Washington.
That's the biggest thing. Is to get some of these politicians that only come around when it's time to vote, or they need a vote, and then they go back and they forget, all their campaign promises. I'm
sitting here looking at you. You look like you're running. You got the flag behind you. You got a nice suit on. You got the smile. You got the Mandami smile. I hope you don't think that.
Here we go. Another one. Another one, man.
I'm just saying, brother. You look like the better candidate than me. I'm sitting here looking at the flag. I was like, oh my God, getting goose. My hair on my arm is raising up.
I love America, John. I love our veterans.
I know you do.
My stance is, I appreciate you and everything that you've done for this country, and you've spoken out for the vets that are out there. I feel like they've given me the ability to be here, talking to you. I'm in the studio looking at a camera and a microphone. They're going out there to all these countries. They're fighting wars that I don't agree with. That's my stance. They come back here. They're missing limbs. Where are their jobs? Like, why? When I say America first, I'm not a part of when I say America first, it's not what others are saying.
Right.
For me, it's why aren't we focused on our infrastructure? Why are 42 million people on SNAP benefits in America, in the greatest country of the world? Okay. Why is housing not affordable? Veterans, well, they come back here. Our military personnel come back here. They've given up their lives, mental health, to protect us, to keep us safe. Where are their jobs? We print money. Well, let's print some money for them. And this is one example that I gave. Let's print some money, have them, you want to stop school shootings? You want to stop people from coming into churches? You go ahead and put a veteran in front of those institutions, and I guarantee you won't have one son of a bitch that goes and attempts anything, because these people are willing to give up their lives for this country. Pay them $150,000 per year. Give them the coverage that they deserve. And damn, we are heading in the right direction. We got a homeless pandemic. Okay, our infrastructure is off. We got problems here. Respectfully, I know we are the protector of the world. The way that things, the way that things act out here, but. Man, we need to take care of us first before we can take care of everybody else. That's the way I look at it.
David, so, I'm with you, man. Listen, I'm going to give you a figure that is going to just make you shake your head. If we just count the last 5 years, and I'm not counting military aid, just cash, we've given $400 billion to foreign countries, right? If you count military aid, it's $1 trillion in 5 years when our infrastructure is decaying, when our bridges are falling apart, when we have homelessness, when we have people that can't afford a home because they've been priced out of it. I'm with you 100%. And so I talk about Americans first in the way that you're talking about it. We've got to pay attention to our own. In the meantime, we're seeing the consequences. If we don't, we're seeing a rise in socialism, a rise. We have elected leaders who are quoting Marxism.
It's crazy.
Karl Marx, man. Like there's like direct quotes, and it's like, why are they increasing? Because we have to pay attention to us at home. It doesn't mean I'm saying there's never a time that we don't help others and allies and all of that, but we've got to make Americans a priority.
100%, and I agree with that. And I want to ask you, when you become the senator out there in Massachusetts, what is the first thing you're going to try to tackle out there? What is necessary out there in Mass? I don't know everything out in Mass, but you do. What is necessary to take care of? Like you mentioned the prices of houses, 500 grand. I mean, new first time home buyers, they can't $500,000 where rates at six and above. I mean, that's crazy.
No, I'm going to give you two answers. For Massachusetts, the first thing to attack is electricity. We pay the highest in the continental United States, and housing is the average median home in Massachusetts statewide is 650,000. Greater Boston is 1.1 million. So, no doubt, like other places, electricity, housing, and healthcare. But my first bill is called the Washington Clean Hands Act. And it basically, which is nationwide, it seeks term limits, obviously, because I think that is important, where you get 12 years. Our founders would be shocked that people would go to Washington for 50 years, 40 years, 30 years. But it also gets rid of the regulatory capture at our agencies. Why is it that the chairman of the FDA resigns on Friday and on Monday morning he's on Pfizer's board? That happens all the time. SEC goes same thing. CFTC, so a regulatory bar for 5 years from going from one agency to the companies you were just regulating. Single issue bills, David. Why do the Ukraine funding bill? You know what it should be called? The Ukraine funding bill, and it should be voted on by itself. You shouldn't mix, Ukraine funding or Haiti funding or anything with Social Security, education. Like, let's have single issues. It stands on its own. And if you don't got the votes, you don't got the votes. And so a lot of it is cleaning up Washington, getting rid of some of these leadership packs that they're abusing in Washington with the corruption money. It's about putting integrity back into obviously insider trading with crypto and stocks. Why is it, David, that we have a couple Congress people here in Massachusetts? Congresswoman Presley, 9 years ago, she did her disclosure was her net worth was $12,500. Okay, it's 10 million. 8 years later. On $174,000 a year, maintaining two residences in two of the highest markets in the country, Massachusetts and Washington area. That can't be done. And then we learn that it's her husband opened a consulting business in Washington and he gets money. Markey, my opponent's wife, has worked for NGOs for 30 years. And we've got to end the corruption in Washington, because the only thing bipartisan is corruption in Washington.
It's we the people. It's time for people like you to go represent the people of the United States of America, and obviously Massachusetts. And I encourage everybody, you have my vote. If I could vote in Mass, I would vote for you. But for those who live in Mass, I would say that, yeah, you got my vote. I've always said that. And I think that you would bring a breath of fresh air to the office and to Congress. And I hope it does happen. I really do. And I hope the Republican Party gets behind you. I hope independents get behind you as well. And those who are on the fence, even Democrats, I hope they really do see that you're going to do some honest work, man. I know that. You've done that. You've proven that.
I appreciate it. You mind if I just plug my site, John Deaton?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, listen, everyone watching, if even though you may not be able to vote, you can donate, even if it's $20. John Deaton for Senate.com. I put in my own money, but I can't afford it all, the entire thing. So if you could support that, that would help. If you live in Massachusetts, you want a yard sign, sign up for that. We really can win this race. It's uphill. I'm not delusional, but we've got polling. Even Democratic polling has me 1% ahead of Markey amongst independents in Massachusetts. And so we got a real shot at winning this. And it's about time we sent one of us to Washington.
One of us. You are one of us. And I will be tuning the horn here to go ahead and do as much as I can on my part to go ahead and try to get you in. And I appreciate you, John. I really do.
No, I appreciate you, man.
Future Senator of Massachusetts, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we say it. The future Senator of Massachusetts, John Deedon. Thank you so much for joining the program.
I appreciate you. And after I win as a U.S. Senator, I will be coming back on your show.
Don't forget me.
I'll never forget the people that were there before, man. Never.
Thank you, John. I appreciate you.
Have a good one.
Look at him. He looks good. He's going to win. Don't worry about it. He looks good. He's ready. He's ready. He is ready. He's going to. Yo, guys, you're watching on TikTok. Wherever you're watching from. Okay. I'm going to DM personally. I'm going to DM John myself. Let's donate. Okay. Let's donate. You let 20, 30. You guys put in more into trash. You guys know what I'm talking about. You put more into crap. Let's get him in. Let's give him enough. It's a write-off. Let's give him enough so he can go out there and win. He's going to go up against an anti-crypto. If you are about crypto, and if, you know what? Forget crypto. How about we're going to forget crypto right now? I know, and okay, let me calm down. Let me calm down. I know John. I've watched John. He's done everything possible for our space. Whether you're a Bitcoiner, whether you're an XRP Army member, Ethereum, it doesn't matter. He's gone out there and he has fought for us. He is really one of us. It is time to put one of us into office. I agree with him. He just told you if you live in Massachusetts, $500,000 starting for a house. And think about the rate, 6%. You got anti-crypto, Senator Warren out there, and Malarkey now too. Anti-crypto. First of all, if you're about crypto, then this is an automatic. If you're a one-issue voter, it's automatic. Did you not hear our conversation just now? He's going to take care of the veterans, which I talk about every single day when I'm on this goddamn show. I always talk about the vets. Now you're going to put somebody in office that lived that life, that understands that life. Guys, it's time. It's time that we wake up and we put people in office. And he calls it how it is. He's not. I know he will disagree with his own party if need be, if he doesn't see that it's right for the American people. These are the type of people that we need to put into Congress immediately. Midterms come around. I'm expecting Massachusetts to step up. So I'm going to say this. If you tune in to me for crypto, then this is a slam dunk, okay? And if you're in crypto and you don't have $20, but yet you're ready to shitcoin, no excuse. If I was a resident of Massachusetts, my vote is for Deedon. It's not because he came onto the show. It's because I know who this person is. He's worked non-stop for this space. We'll be right back after this commercial break sponsored by Midnight.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was a promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. There we go. United States of America representing. Socialism, communism does not work.
Digital assets. Is it better to move money at the speed of light? Do everything.
People are greedy when they also try to acquire gold. I am here providing electricity and that energy that is necessary. I'm the modern day Tony Stark. Welcome back. You know what I'm gonna do? Hold on. Let me find my goddamn show theme. There you go. Crypto politics, AI. Today's update. Just had John Deedon on. He's running for Senate in Massachusetts. I'm fired up. I am fired up. You know what I'm gonna do? Being that I have the platform, and now I have an even bigger platform with Gokstein.com, I'm gonna write an article on why I believe that John Deedon should be the next senator representing for Massachusetts. That's what I'm going to do. And I will donate to his campaign. Let me bring Landy in here real quick. Landy, you were in the back. I don't know if you were listening to the conversation. What did you think about John?
Unmute. What is happening here?
I'm on mute?
Oh, no, it's me. It's me. It's an issue with me. There we go.
I said, I don't know if you heard me, but you were in the back, had John on. I don't know if you were listening to the conversation, but what did you think of John breaking things down?
Look, John has a really good perspective on what's going on. He's been in the thick of it, right? He has actual experience. And one of the larger things, I was actually just talking about this while I was kind of jumping around behind the scenes here. So I missed a little bit of what he said. He wasn't expecting this to go through, was he? Like in the overarching point.
No,
Like
he
before
didn't.
the
I
break.
don't think he believed that the Clarity Act was going to go through. But what he would have liked to see is they go to the floor and see who is pro
Who's
and who
who.
is not, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, because he could have been able to use this against Malarkey and say, look, you didn't vote, you voted against crypto.
Yeah.
So and obviously Malarkey and Warren are on the same page being anti-crypto. He's definitely going to win his primary, and he's going to be going up against them, or I should say against Malarkey. So most likely that's the 80-year-old senator who's been around since they went ahead
dawn
and
of
put
time.
together. I feel like he's been around since they put together the goddamn 1933 Securities Act. I mean, like, so
yeah. This
look.
is one of the big things is I understand that perspective of like, let people show you who they are. But, there's the other side of that too, where they can be tactical and say things in support and then not support behind the scenes, right? So, and that's what a lot of them have been doing anyway, is they come out there front facing and they say that, oh no, we're in support of this and we want to push the industry forward and drive innovation forward and allow for other people to actually have access to these markets in a regulated way, but behind the scenes they're actually working against the bill, right, and have been instrumental in really steering it off of what the original purposes were. So he's look, I like John a lot. I think that he would be a good fighter for this industry in Congress. And you've talked to him before this too, right? You had him on. You're muted. Now you're muted.
Sorry, I've talked to John in the past.
Yeah,
I mean, I've talked to John before he ran for Senate.
before he was running. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like, John has done everything possible for crypto, and that's obviously that's the way I see it. He's gone, he's fought for crypto. He's fought for XRP and that entire army. If any of the XRP army lives out in Massachusetts, it would be honestly a disservice for you guys not to go vote for this man. This is the man that went ahead and stood out there fighting for XRP. And in a sense, it also fought for the rest of crypto. So again, like, and John's like, John is able to disagree if it's not for the American people. Like, he's not bought for. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, he is
bought and
he is
paid
the
for.
realist that you're going to get that comes into office. He knows tech. He knows crypto. We want people that know crypto, right? Like, we were talking about, the new communist or the new socialist movement that's coming in.
DSA.
Yep. Yeah. If anybody was listening, I mean, it was a really conversation. I would recommend you guys to play it back. He also called. He said I look like Mandani. So another person that comes on here.
Hey,
He did give me credit. He said, "Hey, looking good looking, and American flag." I'm not going to talk about myself here, okay? I don't want to run. Okay? I don't want to run, but I do want him to win. So this is the play. Hopefully, I got the right website. Hopefully, this is the right website. Hold on.
I believe that's the one through his profile, right?
Okay, this is the right website. So, guys, he asked $20. Like $20. That's all. $20. Okay, you can easily go on here, click donate, and you can donate $25, $20, whatever it is that you guys spend more money shitcoining, throwing in thousands of dollars into some random dog shit. At least y'all can hit the $25 button, man.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I've donated to John, obviously, in his run against Lizzie Warren.
I think he has a better shot at winning this
against Markey. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason why the way I see this is he has a better shot at winning because he's going against. He's not fighting anybody in the Republican Party, right? There's nobody. It's just him. And then hopefully he gets an endorsement from the Republican Party. Hopefully the crypto bros also, help out. I'm talking about the PACs and stuff. And then they're going to battle it out. Malarkey's
they got the money. They got the money to do it, yeah.
Well, but you got money and everything, but now we've really got to... This is what we need to really do. It's kind of like we have social media. We got to go out there and like talk about this. We can be hyped up after an interview or speaking to somebody, but we got to go ahead and be about that life and help push a person into office. Who would we rather have in office? Malarkey, who's 80 years old, respectfully, and I don't want to like bash on age, but he's 80 years old. He's been there forever. And he's not going to change. Like, he's going to continue to do the same thing. He's anti-crypto. Okay? Like, we need to bring in new blood. What? Another thing that caught me, John said he's going to go in, like, once he gets, I'm going to put into the universe. Once John becomes the senator of Massachusetts, when he goes in there, he's going to have to teach people what crypto is or tech is. Yeah. If that's what our Senate is full of, we need to get them out. If they don't understand new tech and we're still operating on 1933 Howie tests here. Like we need to, things need to change, and change comes with new blood that understands.
And Deaton is the guy that can bring about that change and move the needle for those that do not understand,
Correct.
right? And we need more people like him. Like he's very unique in this regard because of his experience, right? And this is, a lot of people that if you're not familiar with John, he's a Marine veteran, he's a trial attorney, and he's a crypto advocate, right? Like those are the three pillars.
How can you not vote for somebody like? I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
How can you not vote for somebody like that?
And he's an actual good guy. Like he's a good guy for those. And here's the thing, this is something I think that's really important is we live in very unique times. You and I talked a little bit about this last night. We live in very unique times where, we are on an application here on X often. Obviously, this show is beyond X, but we're on social media where we have access to actually talk to these people and get to know them on a different level. I mean, John has gone on to Spaces. He's been on your show. He's been on various shows. You actually get to know his ideals. It's not made for TV talking points. He understands these subjects deeply. He understands what his purpose would be going to Congress and what he would fight for the people. And I've liked John since before he even was running, and and I'm a Bitcoiner, right? But he's a crypto advocate, right? Very famously, with the XRP situation, right? Is what brought a lot of folks eyes over to him and understanding who he was and what he was doing. But realistically, he is a crypto advocate. It's not just XRP. He can actually move that needle in Congress, and we need more people like him. But first, we got to get people like him in. We have to. We don't have a choice, because if the status quo is guys like Markey, and I like to call him Malarkey as well, which is funny. But he's not the guy. He's not the guy that's gonna push any of this forward, right? Elizabeth Warren's not going to push any of this stuff forward. She's actively against it. These are people that do not want changes to the status quo. And to keep rewarding them with seats is ridiculous.
Do you imagine, because I've never tested this, do you imagine if I use my platform right now to push to get Deaton in?
Absolutely do it.
No, but I've never done that. I have never really gone full ape shit into what if we use, what? The Socialist Party has been using their platforms to get their people in, right? Maybe it's time I go ahead and use my platform to get people in here who I know are going to do the job.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm telling you, today I am writing an article. I'm going to write an article. I got to make sure that I write it to where it's all good and kosher, but I'm going to write an article where I will be 100% supporting John Deaton to become the senator of Massachusetts. That's what I'm doing today. After the show, I'm going to find time to write an article on why I believe Massachusetts should vote for John Deaton.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, as an anonymous talking puppet, any article I write isn't really going to move the needle, but the conversations that I have with folks span beyond this application and these applications, whether it be X, TikTok, YouTube, and wherever else, right? And it's funny because a lot of folks that are in the business of running the networks, right? Whether from an investment point of view or from a technical point of view, everyone knows John, right? Everybody in this industry knows John, but getting the word out to the regular folks who are holders, who are here paying attention in the bear markets, who are going to be positioned very well when things are handled correctly from a regulatory perspective. They need to know who John is, and they need to know why they should be supporting a guy like him.
He did an amazing job. I got to tell you, he came onto the show. He knows how to articulate himself. And you know what? He's not doing PC shit. It's just like, this is what he's looking at. This is how he thinks he can fix the system. And I'm with it. Again, I encourage everybody who missed the show, who's just coming in right now, to go ahead and replay it and check it out. And I will be pushing. I will 100% be pushing to go ahead and see John win. That's it. Bottom line. I'm hyped. I'm fucking hyped today. I'm hyped. At 1:45, we'll be joined by Rob Nelson, and the puppet will be here, and we'll have a conversation. Hopefully, it's a good conversation. We're not going to go off the walls with shit. Okay, I want to focus on issues. Okay, I want to focus on tech.
I hope Rob had a chance to see John.
I hope so too. I
don't know if he's busy doing other things, but if not, definitely something that this next Monday, if we don't, we're definitely going to be extending this conversation over into there because this is an important conversation. So hopefully Rob will entertain and enjoy some of this meat and potatoes kind of conversation about what's coming up, because we're getting into that time frame, man. August, September, before you know it, this is it, right? This is the prep before everybody makes that final push into November. So
absolutely. 100. Oh, they're calling Rob. They're calling Tim Walls. Oh my God.
Yeah, right. I've seen the chat. The chat has definitely got some ideas about the perspective on Rob's takes right now. So
that is some wild business. But Jesus Christ, it is 1:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the breakdown. Welcome to episode 764. Again, we had John Deaton running for Senate in Massachusetts. He was just breaking down things that he broke down a lot of things from crypto. He broke down things from mass. I am, again, not to be repetitive, I am going to push as hard as I can because I want to see where this brand stands. I want to see where my brand stands and how much motion I have. And we're going to, I want to see him get in. Because if he gets in, Landy said something, if he gets in, then we could talk about getting other people in who have the same mindset. And maybe we could start changing shit around. Maybe, just maybe, we'll have more people more concerned about the American people than other people. And I don't give a fuck how people take that. We'll be right back after this commercial break from midnight.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we build Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Welcome to the breakdown. Thank you for tuning in to episode 764, sponsored by Midnight. We might journey into Midnight City today. Also, Polymarket. Polymarket is the official prediction market sponsor of the breakdown. Also, Cake Wallet. If you guys, anybody who's scared to be on a cold storage wallet right now, I will tell you, get yourself Cake Wallet. Okay, if you have Bitcoin, Litecoin, Monero, Zcash, put it on Cake Wallet for the time being until you find something that you feel is right for you, or keep it there permanently. I don't know. You decide. But Cake Wallet, one of the most secure wallets in our industry. So there you go. Also, shout out to Radar Chat. Not sponsored by the show, but I got to acknowledge a product when it's good. Radar Chat is cool, built on Signal, encryption, and you can send stats to all the homies and maybe, just maybe, introduce people to Bitcoin. So that's a cool thing. Listen, I'm reading the comments. I'm reading the comments on TikTok. I'm reading the comments in this chat. It doesn't matter where you live. I live in New York, okay? That doesn't mean that I can't do things to help people win, right? That means that you can go ahead and do the same thing that I'm doing, okay? If you live in Jersey, if you live in VA, if you're watching from God knows where, okay? We can go ahead and support John Deedon, okay? You can support by donating $20. You can support by going on social media and using your platforms. You can support by telling people you know that live in Mass to go ahead and spread the word. And you can even tell your friends who don't live in Mass to go ahead and just spread the word about John Deedon. This is how it works. This is how it works. You tell one person, you tell another person, you keep telling people, and then the message starts growing. And then people from Massachusetts start looking, and they're like, holy shit, I didn't realize. And then John can go ahead and articulate the policies that he wants to implement for Massachusetts, and not for just Massachusetts. He's going to be representing everybody in the United States of America. So this is what I talk about. You want change? When you guys talk about, I want change, I want things to be different, I want these Congress people to look after me and Americans, my fellow Americans, well, that's it. Shut up. It's either shut up or put up. And right now, I brought somebody on who I am telling you, I don't just endorse anybody, but I'm endorsing a man who is real. So go out there, tell a friend, get active. Let's show them what our platforms can do. And let's send a message to Washington stating, hey, man, if you don't look after us, you're next. That's bottom line. That's bottom line. Welcome to the breakdown. We have Landy here. We'll be joined, hopefully in the next 3 minutes, we'll be joined by Rob Nelson. Rob Nelson, a veteran of mainstream media, had a show on Fox, breaks down politics and trending news on this network Mondays and Wednesdays. He'll have Mondays, he usually has Landy. Wednesdays, he has me. We break down. And by the way, the last show that I was on, we actually didn't fight, so I can't even say nothing. He let me talk. I let him talk. We had a conversation. It was wonderful, okay? It was a wonderful conversation. Hopefully that can continue. Maybe he can start a 2-game win streak, okay? It could be a 2-game win streak. As long as he doesn't, he's going to come on here and mention, if he mentions Iran one more time, I'm just going to put him in the green room. And we'll put him in the green room, and I'm going to send him to therapy. Okay, he's going to be in a straitjacket screaming, Iran, 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 Iran. They're going to think he's saying Iran outside, but it's really Iran, the country. Iran, Iran. But again, you heard what I said. We talk about politics. A lot of us talk about politics. A lot of us talk, I wish we had somebody representing us. You can't say that. You can't say that no more if you ain't going to take action. Okay, you can't talk all this bullshit about, I want people representing me and my best interests, my people's best interests, and then you don't get out there and vote. Shame on you. You can't tell me you have no money when you're shitcoining. I see it. You show off your P&Ls, you're losing. Don't get me started. Do not get me started on the P&Ls. Bottom line, y'all all got $20. Imagine what happens 20 times 5,000 people. That's money that he can use to market brand campaign. That's it.
Yes, sir. And he needs to be highlighted to get that national party push. He really does. And it's in that this is the window of opportunity for that for John, in particular in a state in which has not seen a representative like him come along in quite some time. And I think that his ideas win with regular folks. They don't just win, by the way, with the crypto folks. He has um, a comprehensive set of values and objectives that he wants to accomplish when headed to Congress. So it really is something that I would like to see the national party, the National Republican Party, actually throw their weight behind him as well. And
I mean,
the
they
only
got
way that they're
to.
going to do it.
Trump got
They
to
have
throw his weight behind them.
Yes.
I
He
mean,
does. I think
this
I
this
think
has
that
to
he
happen. Trump has to throw his weight. The RNC, every
Yeah.
crypto PACs
Yeah.
need to throw their weight behind them. Okay.
And we need to be loud, much louder than we've been, because that's the only way that they're going to take notice of it and actually do the math that's going to make sense to push, right? We have to do that as crypto community, as regular Americans, and folks that that can act. We can move the needle, right? Especially from this space, we get noticed, right? We've been loud enough that we have pushed crypto to to becoming a national conversation all
I
the way up to
mean,
the White House.
Trump. I
Yeah.
mean, can we get a little credit? One issue voters went out there and voted for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying he couldn't have won without us, but it sure is good when you got 50 million plus voting for you, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. So, I really want to see this. I want to see what we can do here from a crypto perspective where it comes. And I hate saying crypto perspective, but I want to see what my brand can do for John. I know
Yep.
I'm stuck on this right now, but I'm hyped. You know why? Because I know that if you call him when he gets elected, he'll respond.
Yeah.
Good, bad, and indifferent. I feel like he'll respond.
Yes.
And
I
that's all
think
we need is somebody to listen to us. Like, hey, man, we don't. I feel like this can note it. Like, that's all you want. That somebody's hearing you.
Yeah.
Not when
He-
you're getting the assistant on the phone and we'll relay the message, or nobody's picking up the phone.
I mean, could you imagine? I can see you would want a guy like John in the Senate and then on the Senate Finance Banking Committee. You want him. You don't want Markey. You don't want that guy, right? This is just it. There's very specific races with folks like John, and John happens to be one of the standouts because he has actually done it. He's actually been involved directly in the cryptocurrency industry. He has the experience. He isn't just talking about it. He has the actual experience when it comes to um, being battle tested against an archaic system. So
I feel like I should bring on more people before the midterms that I want to see get elected, regardless of their state.
absolutely.
I think I'm going to do that. I think I want to shake things up.
Yep. You should.
I think I want to bring on people from New York, Virginia, Cali, wherever it is, I want to bring all these people on. People that I feel will do a hell of a job for the people of the United States of America. I'll probably get canceled for this, but it is what it is.
It's all right. You know what?
Fuck it.
That's okay. These
This
are
is this is what the white bull movement is about. No, I'm serious, Landy.
yeah.
This is it. This is exactly what it's all about. Besides bringing retail together, but it's bigger. That's why I said the movement would be bigger. It's a bigger thing.
Yep. I agree.
I'm so fucking pumped up right now because you know what it is? If we can get okay, look, hear me out. If we can get John Deaton into office, we send the message.
Absolutely.
Win, lose, or draw, starting today, I'm going all. I'm his unofficial campaign manager. I am going to go. You don't get what I'm going. I'm going to go all out to seeing John Deaton. I'm literally telling you, I'm going all out.
Yes.
I like what he said about the creditor investment rule. Getting that, why can't retail participate?
Yeah. Hey,
these things need to be talked about. Like they keep retail away from things.
Well, they in one respect, we have one example with SpaceX where those rules were loosened a bit, right? So there is some changes, but it's not a market-wide change when it comes to these things for investment. So look, he gets it. That's the thing, is he understands. And more importantly, I know I keep going back to the well with this, but he understands from doing the work.
Yeah.
And that is more valuable than these people who are just out there talking about it.
We're gonna rock the boat. This is not just one show. Me just being like, you guys know I don't get easily excited. Come on, you know this, Lanny. I don't get this easily excited, man. But this is like something like, yo, this is change. Like this could be it. Like, you know what he said? He goes like, no, you said this. If we could just get one person in, then we can focus on. And that's right. We just got to get one person in, just like him, who's done everything, protected this country, protected crypto, right? Like
yep.
These are the people we want. Forget about Republican, Democrat. These are the people we want representing us. Speaking of politics, let's bring in your friend Rob Nelson into the show. Rob Nelson,
hey Rob.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. You're muted.
Who needs to hear me anyway? I said, good to see you. How you doing?
Good. We're just talking here. I had John Deaton, who's running for Senate in Massachusetts on. And you know what? This is the first time that I'm going to come out here and say I'm going to do everything possible from my side to go ahead and send the message that's loud and clear to get Deaton in there to be the senator of Mass.
Yeah, well, good. That I like John. He remember he's run before.
Yeah.
And I don't know if when I was doing Roundtable, I had him on a few times, had great conversations with him. He definitely knows what he's doing. He's level-headed. He's not left or right per se. He gets more than just crypto. He gets, I think what we need is a lot more transparency in government. I just hate to say it, and this is a big conversation about how we're going to change politics in this country. And I'm working on some things. I'm working on a couple projects. One's called America House, which is going to be like an influencer house around politics. David, I should definitely get you involved in that. It's going to be changing control of the narrative. It is really hard for these people. The only people who seem to win right now from the outside are the far left candidates. And they're not really outside because they're running from inside the DSA framework. And that gives them a base The problem with the Deatons is they don't have a political base that's effective enough to win in Massachusetts. So I
Well,
mean,
he's
I'm
the
all
only
for it.
he's gonna win the primary, essentially, and he's gonna
Well,
be
he'll win the
he's gonna
primary, yeah, and then he'll lose the election.
well
But
well why does he have to lose this is my problem. If we sit back, then yeah, he'll lose if we sit back. If we can't donate $20 to his campaign, yeah, he's going to lose
yeah,
100%. Like I'm not just talking crypto here.
I
I
know.
like I've gotten to have conversations with John before he's run for office, and he's been a major, obviously, advocate for crypto. He's served this country, right? He loves America. You
Yeah.
just said he's willing to play both sides of the fence in a good way to get shit done in America. So if we sit back and we say, "Oh, hey, you know what? No chance, though, because this, that, and the third," yeah, then he has no chance.
Yeah. I'm going to disagree with you after decades in politics. This is the myth of the whole thing. The argument that you should sit back and just cast your vote for who, that's the whole presidential thing. Vote for the Dem or the Republican because no one else has a shot. I'm
I
not
didn't say
arguing that.
I didn't even mention the Republican part.
No, I'm saying
he's an
the
individual that can-
argument. No, the argument that one shouldn't fight for a candidate who doesn't have a good shot. That was the argument around JFK Jr. too. People were like, "Don't waste your vote because he can never win." I'm not agreeing with that. What I'm saying is there's an equal argument that doesn't work of let's get 100 more people in the ring. There has to be a serious reckoning that if you want to get a John Deaton elected in Massachusetts, it is going to take a massive campaign, a grassroots campaign, getting thousands and thousands and thousands of people to pay attention. That is
Okay,
doable.
so why can't I do that?
I'm not saying you can't. Better amp it up in Massachusetts. And it's not just a money question, although money does matter. But it's more than money. You saw how much money they spent to try to beat Al-Said. They didn't beat him. They spent probably 50 times more than he did in Michigan. He won. It's not just about money, but it is about a network and it is about an activist base that is willing to hit the streets online and in reality and get this guy's name out there. I think you should spearhead it, get him elected. It'd be the first of its kind. And most of these people don't win. It's California, the Republican candidates for governor.
What good is this
for mayor in
platform?
LA?
What good is this audience and what
Spencer
good is this
Pratt.
platform if I can't go ahead and make a difference? Like I'm sitting here thinking to myself, it's not just a Republican Democratic issue. I know that if we got him into office, shit would change, and it's a start. It's a
I don't disagree.
so sitting here just saying, okay, yeah, John, good luck, and I donate $20. It's not enough. What if I use my platform? All these other live streamers are using their platforms to elect socialists or get socialists to win their primaries, right? Why can't I use my platform to get just fucking people that care about America in?
Mm-hmm. You can. I'm for it. I want to loop him into what we're doing with this America House too. That's part of the idea of it. It's an influencer house for politics. So it's outside of Washington, D.C., and it's based on controlling a narrative where you start getting really thoughtful political voices to be talking, sharing, same way you did hype houses just around meaningless influencers, and then, create some civic technology tools and essentially let America pick the next president. Like the real people pick the real president they want. Like it's the same idea. You get enough, you can take the attention, David. You control the narrative. You can drive anything. You got a big platform. How many of your audience will get invested in getting a guy in Massachusetts elected? It's a great question. And how do you build that?
It'll be up to this is a perfect way to see where your brand's at. Like, are people interested in, people complain all the time, man, I wish somebody was representing me. Well, now's your chance, right? Here's what, Malarkey's 80 years old. He's been in office he's been in office when they were signing the Declaration of Independence.
He was in office when I was in college. That's how old he is.
So, I mean, this guy ain't doing nothing for you. I mean, I have it just written down. $500,000 to go ahead and just the base price of buying a house in Massachusetts is $500,000. And what are the rates? 6, 7, 8%? That's crazy. It's absolutely mind-boggling. I'm not gonna even start with the infrastructure. It's time. You bring in somebody who's fresh, who's enthusiastic about changing things. And then it's a trickle-down effect. It goes from Mass, it goes to New York, it goes to PA.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Why aren't we thinking this way? You have the blueprint right now that is happening, where you have these live streamers that are going out and putting in socialists into positions.
And they're having success.
They are having success.
They
But
are.
They're having success for a very specific reason, and that's, you're both touching on it. Well, not Landy, you've touched on it before, but David, you're touching on it now. I think people are misunderstanding why they're having success, and I think both the media, the mainstream Democrat Party, who's freaking out about it, and the Republicans who are trying to jump on it and go, they're a bunch of communists, are all missing what's really happening. You're seeing a double shift. You're seeing a generational shift. You make fun of what's his name, I call him Malarkey, in Massachusetts. But Mitch McConnell, I don't know if the guy's even fucking alive at this point. Like, these people just disappear, and half of them are so old they don't even know what day it is. They're Joe Biden on steroids. That said, we're seeing a generational shift. Where, remember, the last time we had a generational shift in politics really was Clinton. Remember, Clinton was 44 or whatever in 1992. It was the new wave of young people. Clinton's like 80 now. Clinton's an old man, basically. Obama's getting there. Obama was 15 years later. Trump wasn't a generational shift. Trump was just a radical outside boom, There is a hunger for younger, fresher voices. You combine that with the things you're talking about, David, which are people are fed up with the cost of living. They're fed up with how much it costs to own a home. They're fed up that health insurance costs more than rent. They're fed up that their government's completely not transparent. They don't know where their money's going. They see a lot of it going outside of the U.S. and they're like, I don't know what for or why, but it's not fucking helping us. Their schools suck. There's crime everywhere. Tell them all you want. People are fed up, and who will they vote for? Anyone with a fresh voice that offers to fix that. So it can be the John Deatons, it can be the independents, it can be the people who are even much more conservative, the populists, or it can be the socialists who are going to offer all these things and give you free grocery stores and make you show an ID to get in line for bread.
All right, so what do we do in this kind of situation when we know we need new people in office? Because we got people in there for the last 60 years wearing diapers, not doing a goddamn thing.
Well,
How do we go about this? Since you've been in the political world, you've been a part of some campaigns, right?
Well, more interesting than that, I have been a part of some campaigns, both, I ran Marianne Williamson's independent bid for Congress, but much more relevantly, 30 years ago, I really was the leading edge of an attempt to fractionalize the lockdown. This problem isn't new. 30 years ago, we were in the same problem. Whether it was the deficit, whether it was rising prices, Gen Xers, as we were, so-called slackers, couldn't afford to buy what our parents could buy. And I was the interface of that culturally, and it was legacy media, but basically define the voice of people saying, we are not going to sit back and take it anymore. We are going to show up. And the whole reason we succeeded was because we were written off as political slackers. So I dragged the biggest celebrities of the time. I mean, now you can laugh, but Val Kilmer was like one of the top movie stars in the world at the time. Christian Slater represented the 20-something disillusionment with everyone and all his iconic roles, right? He was that guy. And I dragged people like that in, and the media paid attention and was like, and then we dragged thousands and thousands of young people in behind us. We made politics relevant for a generation of voices that felt it was silenced. That's what the DSA is doing. They are making politics relevant, particularly to younger voters. And I think that's what you got to do. You got to make it relevant. You got to make people pay attention. Now you got to use this media to make it fun, engaging. It doesn't have to be boring. And you got to drag people off their asses and go, Get in here. With your point, David, get in here and play. Don't write a $20 check. Get in here, get behind the people that can make a difference. And literally, let's use this great medium of being able to kind of reach, however, you don't have legacy constraints, and activate voices. And whether that's a John Dean to start with, whether that's 20 candidates, I feel like that's the way to go. The only way you will break through the precinct level control that both parties have right now on their respective candidates.
Landy, what are your thoughts on this?
I've been, just like I've talked about with cryptocurrency, is that, stop just sitting around and talking about it and get involved. You have to get involved. It has to be a movement. It has to be a groundswell. You have to go to their events. You have to actually support them in far larger ways than just political opinions, right? You have to take action in terms of the support and highlighting them and supporting them in their districts. Look, for as much as the DSA communist kind of wing has gotten very popular, even though they are a vast minority of people here in the United States that actually do genuinely support their policy positions and their ideas. They are a minority within their own party. But why are they successful in terms of unseating some of the status quo folks in the primaries? Well, the reason why is because they understand how to organize, and they've been doing this for a very long time. A lot of this came out of the NGO infrastructure that was funded by us, the taxpayers, anyway. And this is the end result of that. So money does matter, but more importantly, organizers matter, and people actually going out to show up and support candidates matters. It's not just, hey, I'm going to have it in my head that I'm going to go vote for this person. Hey, I did my donation. You want real change, you have to get out there and you have to show up. You have to show up and show that you are real, that there is a movement here. It gets noticed by wider media, even as much. You have to be loud enough that they cannot ignore you in mainstream media, because then that's a feedback loop. Mainstream media, often everybody says mainstream media is dead. It's actually not dead, because everybody in alternative media is utilizing mainstream media in their clips and utilizing mainstream media as a validation point, right? Because like, oh, okay, CNN, Fox, MSDNC, whatever, ABC, NBC takes notice of something, and they might not in their own little silo get a bunch of views or clicks or a larger audience. Where they actually get the larger audience is from the independent media taking over social media to clip them up and put into context what that is. And DSA, communists, and the far left have figured out that, hey, all we need to do is amplify mainstream media as being proof that this is factual or true, or that there is a movement here. And then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it becomes the snowball effect, right? It becomes the network effect, the snowball effect, whatever you want to call it. And what in particular, what the Republicans have done a piss poor job of, that Trump did a very good job of early on, is that he had, and why he was banned from all these social media platforms coming into 2020, was because he figured this out first. They are literally utilizing the MAGA model of social media to then reformat that, copy paste it with the far left ideals, and then propel their candidates into positions that are going to get them. And they've been very targeted, right? There's a very well-oiled machine in the races that they're targeting, because they see the weakness within the Democrat Party that they can take advantage of. And often these are in Democrat strongholds. So this really is, it's not like a ton of Republicans can do much about it, right? You can, outside of Republicans coming in to try and swoop in and save some of these Democrat stalwarts, which is like, you might as well let them eat their own and let the people find out that they've elected complete and utter farces and fallacies of human beings, right? So these are Democrat strongholds where they're already running up against the weak candidates because of the weak policies of the Democrats. So they're the revolutionary side of that party, but they want to bring that nationwide. The Republicans have gone back on the model that was successful, that Trump ran to get elected in his first term, that allowed for him to actually bring in a wave of new young Republicans. They've abandoned that model because they chose to instead fight Trump his entire first term. They allowed for the kneecapping of the entire social media network effect from Trump and the Republicans coming in towards the end of his first term, and then abandoned it. They were abandoning it and left Trump to just literally take it over for himself from 2020 to 2024. And they haven't been able to recover as a party from that perspective. And now we have the DSA that has moved in on that territory, and they are finding success despite being a minority within their own party. They have figured out that Trump knew how to manipulate this game online, how to then organize people to go and support him and whatever candidates he was supporting. We can utilize that model very effectively because they already have very loud voices that were being propelled to the top when all Republicans were basically banned from all the platforms if you're a conservative.
I agree with a. Oh, go ahead, David.
You're muted.
You're
David.
muted, so we can't hear you anyway. We don't hear you.
I said, you go, Rob, and then I'm going to ask you a question after that.
Landy, I agree with a lot of what Landy's saying, with one exception. And first of all, the boots on the ground part is so essential. And, you know, Landy said it better than I did, but that's what I was trying to say, David. Just getting people riled up. Even in the 90s, we succeeded because we got boots on the ground. You know, we affected hundreds of congressional races. We had 250 candidates and members of Congress take our deficit pledge. They didn't take it because we were on NBC Nightly News. They took it because we had hundreds of people lined up outside their local district offices holding up signs, and half of them were 22 years old, or, you know, and they were fucking being like, you're fucking over our future. Like, you know, you got to get people in there. That's what the DSA does well. They have people on the ground. It matters. These are local races, even if they're for Senate or for Congress. But the only thing I disagree with, Landy, is I don't think this is as fringe as you think. I do think the Dems want to pretend this is a tiny fraction of their main audience. And I do think a lot of what the DSA says, yeah, let's get rid of the president. Let's get rid of the Senate. Become a parliamentary. Okay, yes. There's a, you know, let's eliminate all prisons. These are some extreme views. But people said that about MAGA. Remember, they were like, this is a fringe element of the Republican Party. That's why a lot of the mainstream Republicans didn't get on board. It was not fringe. Did it have some fringe elements? Yes. Does the DSA have some fringe views? Yes. But I would argue they are tapping into something very mainstream, which is—
No, they're not.
They are, and I'll tell you what it is. They're tapping into several simple points. They're tapping into the cost of my energy, my rent, my insurance, my food should not be, my healthcare shouldn't cost more than my rent, and it should be a national priority to lower the cost of my rent, food, energy, and healthcare.
That's what he wants.
Who wants?
Deaton.
I'm not arguing Deaton doesn't want it. I'm saying so does Mandami. So does Al Saeed. These people aren't fringe. They want to make a national movement priority out of doing these things. Secondly, they feel like the government should be more transparent. I'm not saying they will be transparent, but they're saying it should be. They're worried about monopolies, and they're worried about AI taking over.
You just played the most cleanup for the DSA. None of them have expressed these views, and any of their candidates don't express these views.
Listen to their
no, they haven't. I have.
Saeed's speeches. He literally says, "If you are like me," he uses the words. He's good. He's like a Martin Luther King. If you are me, he's like Republican, Democrat. I don't care. If you are me, you are tired of healthcare being too expensive. If you are me, You
No,
don't
no.
think you should have
Every
to choose
politician
between
taps
feeding your
into
kids and
that.
blank. If you are
This
me,
is not new.
government should be doing blank. He literally says these
But
things.
that's
They all do.
not that you're missing the point. Every single politician talks about these things. Everybody running for office talks about these things. This is not unique to DSA candidates. What
how they
what you're
talk about it.
missing is their actual political plans, their views, and how they want to actually have and their policy views are not mainstream by any stretch of the imagination. They are a minority in terms of their policy views. This because the rhetoric matches what the pain points are does not match the actual policy views in solving those problems. That is where they are the minority. What you're missing is the entire movement online that is organized for the DSA does not care about that. That's not even their objective. Those are just talking points as a means to an end to get into power, to fundamentally implement policies that are very, very unpopular within their own constituents, within their districts there. It is a farce. That is the difference.
Yeah.
The
I don't
policy.
agree. I don't agree. I understand that argument, and it's a valid one, Landy, and it's definitely one both the Democrats and the media and the Republicans are making. I actually think, I'm not saying it's completely off base that they want to do this. I think you are missing how big this groundswell is. The DSA candidates, people like that, are going to get more and more and more popular. This election, 2028, they're not going to get less because people are going to be like, I'm not saying some don't have a radical agenda, Landy. Let me finish. I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying they're not just mouthing words. They are tapping in to something very visceral and very real. And it's not every candidate saying it. Donald Trump doesn't say it. Donald Trump says your energy and food is fine. Deal with it. Joe Biden said it's fine. Deal with it.
He never said that.
These
but okay.
people, he literally said it. He said, so your grass will go down. Don't worry about it. You know, it's not as bad as you think. Best economy you've ever seen. There is a groundswell on the left and the right. Marjorie Taylor Greene was closer to it. And there is both sides are coming at this. And the DSA is not going away.
This is
unless
what
people
you
like
just
the John
explained is
Deans
why
get in there,
MPG law.
unless the moderates get in there and fight for these things.
What you just explained, and first of all, I think you're missing what I'm talking about here. I'm not saying that there isn't a groundswell in support for these people, but the reality is the underlying policy proposals that they have are not what the majority of people want. Just because you can hit on all of the pain points and successfully sway and create a groundswell for those pain points does not mean that the policies match what those people actually want to see. You can disillusion a bunch of people with rhetoric, and that's exactly what they are doing. I'm on the ground, right? I'm actually doing this outside of this space. I'm heavily involved. Okay. This is where you need to understand that from your perspective, you are playing cleanup with their underlying policies when you say stuff like that, because the groundswell isn't for their policies. The groundswell is for their rhetoric, and the actual underlying machine does not match the rhetoric. They're exploiting a flaw within the Democrat Party and weaknesses within the Democrat Party to seize power and implement policies that are intensely unpopular, even within those districts. They're not out there explaining in detail how they want to implement policies and how those policies would work. They are just giving you the glow up version of here's a pain point and here I'm going to solve that pain point, right? And it's the same thing that Mamdani did. And then, you just said it earlier when you hopped on. He pitched all of the, well, we're going to have free food. And then they want ID for it. Well, they walked it back now because he literally was doing bait and switch because he wasn't out there. He had an intensely unpopular policy that he's hiding behind a veneer, right? That is not actually economically viable. It sounds good when you talk to people about it on the campaign trail, but it's almost impossible to implement effectively. So these are not popular policies with the majority of people in New York, right? That it's just not. That is the disconnect between policy and rhetoric. You can get a groundswell for the things you say. And what they've been doing and very effectively doing is covering for the real underlying policies that they want to implement with this glow up veneered version of policy. Now, granted, this is politics 101 across the board. But my point is social media is where they organized, and they took the blueprint from what Trump was doing in his first term. They really did. They copy pasted his homework and they've implemented it with their blueprint for how they want to organize and create that groundswell. And it's a bunch of lies, and a lot of people know it. And they're going to be successful. I'm not arguing that they're not going to be successful and they're not going to get elected. They will. David Goxstein, you're both David Goxstein, apparently right now. But I think that we agree, Rob. But I think what I think you're missing, or we're talking past each other, because we're talking about the same thing. I'm coming at it from the perspective of somebody who is a veteran of the trenches in politics online, right? You're coming from it from a perspective of an organizer that has implemented what that groundswell actually is through its end means, right? From the ideas and the organization that is decentralized to then centralizing and focusing that on actually implementing things on the ground to apply pressure to people, to highlight people and put them in position that they could win. Right. So we're talking about the same thing. And what I'm saying is the Republicans gave it up. The Democrats gave it up. And DSA and the communist wing and the far left have actually upped their game. The piece that they do not have is popular policy, the actual policies that they want to implement, but they have upped their game in their message, which they've always been pretty effective with in the Democrat Party, right? They've been very effective for a long time with messaging, but now they are usurping the old Democrats, and they have identified and targeted all of those weaknesses, and they're finding success, and they will get elected, especially in those Democrat strongholds. There is no answer for this right now, but the ultimate answer will be when they go to implement those policies and they fail to be either implemented in the way that they promised, or they outright fail via implementation.
Yeah. Well, there's a third answer, which I'm going to just toss out real quick. I think you hit it on the head when you said this is politics 101. And this is how both sides respond. If you remember, you heard this same argument about MAGA and Trump. They're lying about what they really want to do. When they really get in, what they're going to do is blank. There's truth in that always. What I think the unseen part of it is, there is an anti-woke populism on the left. There is also an anti-woke populism on the right. That is different than the DSA socialist and their crazy, woke, nutty, communist, as you like to call it, agenda. It is hyper possible that as they get in, they do a Mandami and they start to morph. They want power more than they want to change the world. They really don't want to change the world as much as they want power. I will not be shocked if Mandami wins a second term in Jewish New York. I will not be surprised if a lot of these DSA people get in and they conform more toward a more left populism than their kooky shit. I could be wrong, but I think somebody has to fill the gap with results. And the results, I think there's a shot that someone's going to start doing it. Thus, bring it back to John Deaton. They're independent type candidates who would want to do these same ideals. It's who's ever going to get in power will have a shot. I would not rule the DSA out as they'll get in, they'll try shit, and everyone will realize how crazy they are, and they'll vote them out. I don't think so.
No. The system absorbs all. You see, this is like Brandon Herrera is another example. Really like Brandon Herrera. He's probably going to win, probably going to go to Congress. But one of the things that I've talked to members of Congress about in the past, myself personally, is that especially newer people, when we're talking 2018, 2020, 2022, and 2024. So, and current conversation I'm having. This is we're in the realm of where you go in bright-eyed and bushy-tailed like you're going to change the world, and you're going to serve your constituents, and what you slowly find out is the system itself is set up to sabotage exactly that. And what you have in New York with Mamdani is he's not really drastically changed position. He just hasn't been able to fulfill his promises, and he's had to make a bunch of compromises because the system forces it. And what it will do is it will try to corner you. And if it can't corner you, it will oust you. Okay. And this is exactly the way that the system works, and this is why you know that we need a groundswell, and it's going to happen on the left, and it's going to happen on the right, and it will be populist, and it will be an upheaval, and there will be a massive battle. Look, there's a lot of people that are running through the DSA and adopting all of their talking points just to get in power. Just to get in power. They have completely different ideals and goals for what they want. They're utilizing the woke movement. They're utilizing the trans movement. They're utilizing all of the different movements that are far left as a tool to get in power and then position others in power. Mamdani was very effective in New York in doing this at a state level. All right. Especially during the primaries. And you're going to see more and more of this. One of the bigger issues is Democrats don't know what to do to prevent this outside of hemming them in through those systems, which is what they're trying to do to Mamdani in New York, because he would go full force. You got to understand, he's not a socialist. His ideals and policies don't fall under socialism. They fall under communism. All right. They do. They really do. And there's a lot of people that don't understand what the difference is. They don't understand that one is a step to another. They don't understand the actual the actual way that these policy implementations would go. But he is being hamstrung by the state itself. But on the other side, they're trying to play a give and take. We're going to give you one thing to get another. That's why they bailed out New York on the budget issue. Right. And then he gets a win that he can go and campaign on. We balanced the budget, even though it came from Albany. Right. But then they're hemming him in different ways. And, you know, he's had a faux pas here and there. He wanted to do the stores and bodegas thing. And then he made the critical error of, we know how we would actually have to implement this policy, is we would have to have guardrails on it. And that means ID. And now they don't know what to do. So they're walking it back. It will fail.
Well, you guys ran it for 45 minutes. I didn't even get to touch on the things that I wanted to touch on, but okay, great conversation. I'm glad that you guys came on, though. Nice background, Rob. I love it. Love to see it.
It's a little white, but all right, you know.
I like it. I like it. Landy, you like it? I like it.
I can't tell what it is right now. I think I see a light.
It's white. It's
Studio
too
light.
white.
It's
I got to
studio
some
lights?
color.
Are
It's
you
a
in a
studio light on a white wall.
Okay.
He's doing his studio's gonna look.
It's too
So-
white. It's too white. I'm not that white.
This is not TLC, okay? You could take it a home improvement or whatever that fucking television show is.
Put some
We'll
color
be back
on the wall.
next Friday for you guys. It is nice. This is Rob. You're on a 2-game win streak where you haven't been yelling and close to having an aneurysm. It's a blessing.
I never wanted to have to yell. I've always known my ideas are superior.
Anyway, I'm not even. You see, I'm going to continue to move forward and not go and play into these little kiddie games. Rob Nelson can be seen Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Gokshi News Network. Also, Landy can be seen Mondays, Wednesdays, and this Friday at 8 p.m. Today, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You got a guest coming on. I don't know his name. Tony.
Tony's
There you go. It was a T, and he'll be on there, and they'll be breaking down hand readings and all. Like, you should tune in. It's going to be a great show, and they're going to talk about markets. I'm being facetious. Talk about markets and stuff like that. Good. Thank you, guys. Hope you have a great, wonderful weekend. Thanks for showing up. I'll go ahead and close up the show.
Thanks, Landy. Thanks, David.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Rob.
David. I'm just going by what your thing is. Thanks, David.
Wow.
Well, I wanted to talk about this, but these two started talking so much, okay, that they didn't let me get to this subject. But it was good to see them having, some really good discourse. All right. Again, balance of power here. And this is from Polymarket.com. Polymarket.com. Polymarket is the official prediction market sponsor of my show. Balance of power for the 2026 midterms. They're basically at the same points right now. 46% that the Democrats sweep both the House and Senate. 1% chance that the Democrats take the Senate and the Republicans take the House. And then the Republicans are at 41% with Republicans hold Senate, Democrats take House. So there you go. Polymarket, I kept it up there. I use Polymarket besides having the show sponsored by Polymarket. I use it because it's all about data, bro. It's all about data and it's people. This is what the people are feeling. Okay, so shout out to Polymarket. Thank you for being the sponsor of the breakdown. We really had a great show today, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like we had a great show, and I'll be back. I'll be right back. There were people calling in, but I was like, you know what? I got to go. It's Friday. It is Friday. I got to go and do what Rob does. I want to go tan my balls. So I'll be right back after this commercial break sponsored by Midnight.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we build Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. There we go. United States of America representing. Social communism does not work.
Digital assets. Is it better to move money at the speed of light? Do everything?
People are greedy when they also try to acquire gold. I am here providing electricity and that energy that is necessary. I'm the modern day Tony Stark. Welcome back. ACDC, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the editing team putting that together. Hopefully we can have more of these. Yo, I like them, man. I like the shit that's been put together. All right, listen, shout out to the team. All right. I said this already. Gokhshtein.com should be your main source for news. Okay, let me go ahead and show this to you one more time. If you are tuned into the show, if you are tuned into me, the most electrifying personality in media, independent media, you know this. I say this with a smile, but it is the truth, okay? If you are tuned in, okay, then you can go ahead and tune in to Gokhshtein.com and get the latest news. Get the latest news with everything that's happening in the world today. Crypto, TriFi, finance, politics, markets, digital assets, technology, sports, whatever it is, we're reporting on it, okay? So I'd love to go ahead and see you guys tune into it. Also, when we go live, you will see on the right side, as we go live, you will see a pop-up indicating that we are live. More to come. There's a product that is coming out. It is almost done. It is going to allow you to have a better experience, okay? And it's not going to handicap us when we come on here and all of a sudden TikTok wants to go ahead and put on a limited visibility fucking thing on my goddamn show for no reason, okay? Tired of that shit. Gokhstein.com for the latest news. Covering the latest news on everything, touching on everything. Okay. Gokhstein PR. Let's go to that one. Okay. For those that are looking to up their brand, because a lot of people are contacting me and saying, hey, Dave, how can I get in contact with you? Well, here you go. You can go ahead and contact me here. You can contact the firm, Gokhstein PR. If you're looking to go ahead and level up your personal brand, okay? You're looking to level up your personal brand. Who knows how to level up their brand better than me? I've been doing this for how long now? I've been through it all. I know what it takes, whether it's in crypto, politics, wherever it is, I know what it takes. So if you have a brand that you want to level up, or you have a product that you're looking to go ahead and have seen or want to be seen in whatever industry you're in, contact Gokhstein PR and we will get back to you if you're a fit. Okay, at the end of the day, you got to fit. We ain't just taking everybody on, okay? We ain't just taking everybody on. Everybody and their mother can't come along with us, okay? Want to make sure we align. We got to align here. We absolutely have to align. So you got Gokhstein.com, you got Gokhstein PR, we got more stuff coming. gmarcus.io. We're going to go ahead and present version 2 of that, which will be even bigger and better, which will allow you to understand the markets. What more do you want? What more do you want? Loving it. And again, we were reporting on this today on the digital asset. Obviously, we're talking about crypto right now. And we were talking about this earlier. Uniswap, meme. Are we on this tab right now? Share this tab. Here we are. We're on it. There we go. Uniswap meme coin launchpad on Robinhood chain puts retail in the game. Listen, when I was out here and I was talking about memes and nobody else was talking about memes except a few people, and I know I can name them by hand at this point. We were out here and we were talking about this. We were talking about memes, and look what's happened. 10 years later, memes are the talk of the town and how important it is for meme culture to exist. We got somebody calling in. Let's see who it is. What's going on? You're live.
Hey, what's up? Sorry.
Hold on one second. I don't, hold on. Let me hear you out before you start. Who is this?
Yeah, my name is John. I have been watching your show.
All right, hold on, John. Let me connect you so I can hear you. Hold on one second, John. Give me 1 second. Let me do something so I can hear you. Just hold with me. A lot of people been calling.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to take on any calls right now at the end of the show, but fuck it, let's do it. Go ahead, John. John, go ahead and talk to us.
Hey, yeah, I live in. I have both for John D, and I even follow him, and I have followed him for at least like 4.
Hold on, the connection's going in and out.
He's
Hold
a great
on.
guy.
Hold on 1 second. The connection's going out. Hold on. Give me just a second here. Let me fix this up real quick. Let me fix the connection here. Give me just a second. All right, are you with me or no? I can't hear him. Are you with me, John? I think, what's his name? John? Are you with me or no? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hold on, I don't know why it's not, give me a second. I know last time I wasn't connecting. Why? Hold on 1 second. Are you with me or no? No, hold on. You're with me on, God damn it, it won't. Can you try this out again? God damn it, what is wrong with this thing, man?
Yeah, I can call you back again.
No, hold on. I hear you. Let's go. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name. I live in Massachusetts. I live in Lynn,
Okay.
and I'm going to vote for John D. I have voted for him the last election he was doing against what's her name? The one is right now. I forgot. But we always named her like the Big Wish. But the one who's against Kurt in Massachusetts.
So you voted for John last time?
Yeah, I did. All my family, we did.
Are you gonna
But
do it
he
again?
could beat her last one. Yeah, I'm gonna vote again for her, for him too. My family support him too, and I'm gonna make sure someone else that vote for him too because he's a great guy.
He is a great guy. He's done a lot for the crypto space. Now he's running. He's trying to do a lot, not just for crypto and tech, but and for the American people. But at the end of the day, he's also trying to do a lot of things for Massachusetts, right?
Yeah, because it's not easy to live here. Because right now they're trying to do a lot of stuff for legal immigrants.
And what's your stance on
right
illegal?
now we're gonna
What's your stance on illegal immigrants?
illegal immigrants. I don't support them. I came from the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
My dad did all the right way. He did the papers, everything, and it took him a while to do that. And it's unfair to see people come in and just skip the whole process. And my mom, and all my mom and dad don't speak much English, but they don't support that kind of stuff. Like people come in undocumented way.
Yeah, I mean, we have a big problem in this country. Look, my parents came in here and they waited online to get into this country. They went through the process. There are a lot of people that have immigrated from other countries into this country and they went through the process. So I don't understand when we have these conversations, not with you, but when I have conversations like this, to me, it's normal. We have a process. You got to wait in line. You got to wait your turn.
Yeah.
It's not fair for others to skip the line while others, did everything by the book.
Yeah, that's why I don't like that. But I'm pretty much pro crypto too. But I do support Char from Canada. I do hold them too.
But I
pretty much. What was that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I do hold Canada as my biggest holding for crypto, and I do support Char. I always watch his videos. He always posts. Char from Cardano.
So that's your biggest position, Cardano?
Yeah, biggest one. I have been holding them for at least now 6 years, and I love that project because they're trying to do a big change. I like that Midnight too.
You like Midnight? Have you gotten into Midnight?
Yeah, I have hold a lot of them too, and I'm going to keep holding until pretty much they make a big difference. The war really.
What made you go into before you go? I just want to ask you, what made you go into Cardano, or I should say ADA? Like what was it that made you say, you know what, this is the project that I want to, this is the ecosystem that I want to be in.
I used to hold Ether, then I started noticing all the stuff they keep posting, delayed, all that stuff. Just they're like ahead of it, and you couldn't even stake it for it. And I just saw all my Ether, and I went to Canada for that, and I had the Sake Canada for at least 4 years of it. And the reason why I went to Canada because the guy, Sean, is an honest guy, and he do want to help the project. He want to help all the people, and that's why I say there's.
I don't know if I lost you, but it sounds like you broke up.
Oh no! The only reason I used to hold Ether, I sold all of my Ether because Canada has a willing way to help the community, and it's an honest project. It does not scam. It is the most secure one in there.
Do you see and this is the last question for me, do you see Cardano making a big comeback here?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cardano and Midnight together.
Them and Midnight together. I appreciate you calling in though. And I hope that you
Yeah.
so like it starts with the people when I talk about this. The people start this. Like if you guys really want to see John Deaton become the next senator in Massachusetts, you have to go out there and actually you got to be vocal. You got to talk to friends and family. You got to say, "Hey, this is the change that we're looking for," right?
Yeah, all my mom, my dad, my two brothers, they're gonna vote for him. I told him all the reasons why, and he said, "Oh yeah, let's do it." And because I will tell all the people that at work, I say, "Hey, dude, just vote Joe D. He's much better than the guy he's right now. Is an old dude, like 86 years old, but it's not good for us."
That's right. We need some life to come back into these seats that are especially into the Senate. We need some life, and we need people doing the people's work.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for calling in. I appreciate you. Hopefully you call back, and thank you very much for watching the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you for taking the call, and yeah, I will keep watching your video.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. God bless.
God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was, I missed like 4 of the calls, man. I'm sorry. Again, guys, I'm sorry about that. We're going to have a better system. We will have a better system where people can go ahead and call when we can talk about crypto. We can talk about politics. We can talk about trending, like anything trending news. It doesn't matter. Okay. I have no problem with that. Absolutely no problem with that. Especially when people call up here like gentlemen and grown ass women. We can go ahead and have the conversation. By the way, again, I was talking about Uniswap meme coin launchpad on Robinhood chain puts retail in the game. So to me, this is like a dream come true, right? I've been talking about this for years. Nobody really took it seriously, but now they're taking it seriously. So seeing this play out, it just puts a smile on my face. It really does. It puts a smile on my face knowing that it's not that I was right, but it was right there for everybody to see and nobody was looking at it. And it was crazy. Why? Why are you guys fading meme culture? Meme culture, you live in memes. You really do every single day. Life, I always say this, life is a meme. It really is. So anyway, you can go ahead and check out the latest news in the day. Gokshin.com. Gokshin.com should be the front page of everything for you. That's right. So there you go. We got me back on. Hello. Is it me that you're looking for? All right. On that note, I want to say thank you, everybody. John Deaton, thank you for coming on to the show. We got a good lineup next week, and then this entire month of people coming on. Maybe I'm going to bring on more political candidates to come on here, and we can some that I like, that I feel that would represent the people and just don't have the platform. I'm gonna bring them on. We'll have that. We'll have those conversations. We'll have crypto conversation. We'll have every type of conversation. But I appreciate you guys. I really do for showing up. Shout out to Landy. Shout out to Rob Nelson. They both have shows on this network. You can go ahead and tune into that. Okay. You can tune into the shows. And I hope you're enjoying yourselves. It's Friday. The weekend's here. Go do something productive. Last thing I want to touch on, and I feel like I'm talking about this constantly. I really do feel like I'm constantly touching on this topic. Yesterday, I held a space. I wanted to do a space for 30 minutes. I did it for 3, 4, 5 hours. I don't even know what the count was. I think it was 3.5. I think it was going to be 3.5, probably, almost 4 hours. And I was really passionate about supporting builders, man. That's what I was passionate about. Support the builders. Support, unite, unify, but for the right reasons. Just support builders, and that was really the message. You know, don't support these industry plants. Support the builders. That was really it. That was it. And that's what the White Bull movement is all about. That's what this movement in general is all about. Now, like I said, my target now is I want to get John Deaton elected. Because if that happens with this platform and I get all you guys to come and help with getting that shit done, then then we can showcase how much power we have as we the people. Americans have a lot. I'm telling you, man, stop being lazy. Stop being lazy. Anyway, I'm going. Trust me, I'm gonna go ham. I'm going ham. I am definitely gonna go ham. So, on that note, I hope you guys have a wonderful, and I mean wonderful. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. I've chosen, ever since I've come back and I don't want to say rebranded, but restructured or whatever you want to fucking call it at this point, I guess. I've decided that after horrific experiences, that I have to focus on building my own thing. And if I'm not passionate about something, or even if I'm passionate about something, I'm not going to come out there and talk about it. And if I talk about it, then it means that I'm passionate about it at that very moment. The way I've structured everything, it's structured in a way where I'm focused on building this brand, which is getting recognized. There's conversations, there's talks, and I don't want to talk about them yet, but there are things that are happening. You know, things are up, ratings are up, viewership's up, audience is building out. I'm just focused here, and I hope that people can appreciate that. I really do. Because at the end of the day, nobody was sitting in that dark place with me. And when I say dark place, I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about anything crazy or suicidal shit like that. No, I'm talking about as an entrepreneur, you're alone in a place, and sometimes, like, as you're moving forward, you trip into a goddamn foxhole or into a goddamn sinkhole or whatever. You got to climb out of it, and you're doing it by yourself. That's what it was. I'm doing it by myself. And like, people tell me how great I am and shit, and they give me props. I don't feel that right now. Y'all might see this. I don't feel it yet. I feel I gotta dominate. I gotta let them. They gotta put respect on my name. That's the mindset I got. I said this yesterday on Spaces. You can't see my facial reactions. You can only hear my voice, but I'm telling you, I'm driven. I want to dominate. That's the goal, dominate, but for the right reasons. So anyway, shout out to TikTok, shout out to X, Twitter, Getter, whoever you guys are watching this from. Thank you very much. Even if it's one person that tunes in, I'm grateful. On that note, have a wonderful weekend, guys. Enjoy yourselves. Good, be good and nice to people. It costs you nothing. It's an old saying, but like, it costs you nothing to be nice. Okay. And by the way, if you don't get along with somebody, then move your separate ways, man. It doesn't have to be an all right fucking battle. It's like, it's so stupid, some of the things I see, man. That's why I avoid it. I don't really give a fuck. I'm on my own path. You should be on yours too. Anyway, on that note, I'm out.